Indeed, Woolsey posits that there is another level above the Dominic cult, the Alhambra cult, the Al-Alanka cult, and the Al-Lumina cult, and that is the Roshaniyya Cult. Indeed, the head intelligence agency of the Roshaniyya Cult is the TBBNA, the Technicon Bashkayalim Brotherhood of Parsifal Nolan, which is linked to the Fitzpercy dynasty via their Hellfire clubs centred on Glenside Lodge number 3787 at Bowood House, which is the ultimate Hellfire club of the Fitzpercy dynasty, and as stated is headquartered at Bowood House, and it's Glenside Lodge number 3787, which is the home of the British police. The British police were created there in 1784. William Petty Fitzmaurice, Jeremy Bentham, Joseph Priestley et al., who were Hellfire clubsters of this level of Tengrism far above Sabbateanism. Sabbateanism is one level of Tengrism, but the Roshaniyya cult practice Mazdasian Zoroastrianism and refer to themselves as Athanans, and Athanans are fire priests. Indeed, the Fitzpercy Hellfire Club of Mazdasian Zoroastrianists, known as the Roshaniyya cult, is currently headed by the Grand Master, who is this Athanan Grantley Fitzpercy Sanderson, who is also known as Parsifal Nolan. Hence we have the Technicon Bashkayalim Brotherhood of Parsifal Nolan. This Parsifal Nolan is this Athanan Grantley Fitzpercy Sanderson, aka Parsifal Nolan. And we also have the patriarch of the Fitzpercy dynasty, who is Athanan Ralph Percy, also known as Grenville Fitzpercy Edgar. And these are Roshaniyya cultists, above the Dominic cult, above the Alhambra cult, above the Al-Alanka cult, and above the Al-Lumina cult. We have the Roshaniyya cult, which are mainly ethnic Afghan, ethnic Afghani, ethnic Pashtun, and ethnic Parsi. Indeed, I've been out in the Al-Ansari dynasty today, who are one of the main blood lineages linking to the Fitzpercys, also to the Fitzpemberleys, and various other blood lineages. And indeed, there is an Ottoman Fitzpemberley represented in the Roshaniyya cult, which is really quite interesting. And the Roshaniyya cult continues as stated. Sabbateanism is a lower level of Tengrism compared to this. This is Mazdasian Zoroastrianism, which is outright archpriest of the flame, fire priest, fire worship, Tengrism in all unbound forms. Indeed, the ethnic Afghani were just as much heads of the Taliban as the what are termed Afghan Arabs, which were Kainitic and Kainitic Ishmaelitic, mainly from South Saudi, and mainly Mizrahim, from South Saudi, Omani, Yemeni, Qatari, and Sudanese Kainitic and Kainitic Ishmaelitic blood lineages, but the power was shared by Taliban systems and their opponents in the false conflict, with NATO intervening supposedly and continuing a strategy of tension via warlords of Afghan Mujahideen and Afghan Arab Mujahideen to control the heroin trade, which the Roshaniyya basically control. The Roshaniyya cult basically controls the global opioid trade and the global lithium trade. The UK heroin supply is currently supplied by the Turkic mob, but the coordinators of the Turkic mob and the coordinators of the NATO forces are these Hellfire clubsters of Glenside Lodge number 3787, linking to Muscovite dominion via the leadership of Muscovy, but British police systems via Muscat Omani databases. Indeed, British police intel, as we know it, is based out of Muscat, Oman, and the British police gold reserves are mainly in Doha, Qatar, and underground in Muscat, Oman. Indeed, the Aga Khan Foundation of Nizar Ismailis, they are one level of Tengrist, arch Sabbatean house of Al Husseini Handshar division people, but these Zoroastrian Mazdasians of the Technikon Beash Kayalim Brotherhood of Parsifal Nolan, as they call themselves, the Roshaniyya Cult, as it should be termed, which probably basically means, in direct translation, I imagine, Priest of the Flame again, but they refer to themselves as the Shining Ones. Indeed, I shall continue my studies on the Roshaniyya Cult today, and maybe make another video about the Roshaniyya Cult and the Technikon Beash Kayalim Brotherhood of Parsifal Nolan, linking to the Fitzpercy clanage, who basically control the New World Order. Indeed, the plans for the New World Order were found in the sociology department of the University of Northumberland. Indeed, the Ralph Percy, the head of the Fitzpercy clanage at the moment, which I believe is reassembling itself up in Scotland. Indeed, the Roshaniyya Cult is trying to revive itself and restructure itself up in Scotland after the Domnall Cult, Alhambra Cult, and Al Ulmina Cult have been exposed. Thence, the Fitzpercy clanage will reform its Hellfire Clubster Lodge, Glenside Lodge, number 3787, somewhere up in the Scottish territories, via the Scottish Defence League and the ethnic Afghani, ethnic Pashtun, and ethnic Parsis, who constitute the Roshaniyya Cult, main cultists of Mazdasian Zoroastrianists, who are fire priests who refer to themselves as Athanans, which reminds me of Atanist, really. Indeed, and I'll leave it there and continue later. Out the Roshaniyya Cult.